From the 22 News Plus studio, this is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of In Focus. I'm your host, Patrick Berry. We are in the 22 News Plus studios today. I'm very excited today because I'm joined by two remarkable women. They're sitting across the desk from me. On your left is Nicole Coakley. On your right is Cheryl Przecki. Thank you, ladies, both for being with me. I greatly appreciate it. They are the most recent winners of the 22 News Remarkable Women Contest. Nicole, you were 2025. Yes. Cheryl, you were 2024, right?
Yes.
So again, thank you both for coming in. It's remarkable woman time again here at 22 News. And I wanted to kind of hear about your experiences throughout the entire process, because it's a blind nomination. You guys had no idea you were nominated. Right. And then whoever the judges are, I have no idea who the judges are. They pare down the literal hundreds of nominations down to, I think, 4 or 5. And you guys both made it to that point. And then that's, I think, when you both realized you had been nominated, was when 22 News did the interviews with you because you were a finalist. Is that right?
I didn't do mine until after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you were the surprise down to the very end.
I was surprised all the way till the end.
Interesting. Okay, so then that kind of goes back to the way it would changed, the way we recognize the women and the winners over the years. So Cheryl, your time, we had done interviews.
We had found out that we were nominated.
Okay.
We got a phone call saying that we were chosen as one of the finalists, and we didn't know who won until the end. So they did the interviews. We went on mass appeal, and they announced the winner live on the air at that final meeting. So we all knew we were nominated. We did the interviews, and then we were surprised at who won.
And then Nicole, yours was different because this was the first year. It was sort of the what was the old thing? The Ed McMahon show up on the doorstep sort of thing,
with the giant check.
Exactly. But in this case, my old co-host Kayla showed up with roses and flowers.
She did. Lights, camera, action. I'm just like, what is this?
So tell me a little bit about your experience when
So for mine, I have to give a shout out to Gianna Allentuck. That's who nominated me. And it was surprising because she sent me a text message like, "Hey, I'm applying for this something at a college, and they have to do an interview. So would you be able to interview and speak on my behalf?" And I'm just like, absolutely. Why would you text me this? Like, you could just call me and tell me where to be. I'll be there. So I showed up to the elementary school, to Brookings, thinking I'm there to do an interview for Gianna on her behalf to speak about all the amazing things that she does in the city of Springfield to help her get into this class that she was trying to get into. And when I walked into lights, camera, action. I'm just like, wait, what? So I was surprised. I had no idea.
That is so funny.
Wow.
Yeah. Could you imagine that?
Attack.
Oh, they got me.
So it's interesting.
I was like crying, like, hold on.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl, you're comfortable in front of the camera. You've done, in part of your consulting work, you've been in the public eye before. Cheryl, you really haven't. So your reactions are a little bit different. Well, granted, you're both very surprised because of the recognition, but you came from a nervous background.
Right. Yeah, it was being in front of the camera and being like, I'm used to being behind the scenes.
Right.
A lot of my work is in individual therapy, so I work one-on-one with clients, but also at my company, I'm the director, so I do a lot of the behind the scenes work. I'm not always the front face of things.
Right.
So I appreciated the recognition. It just it was a little bit of an adjustment to get used to all the lights and cameras.
It was, exactly. And Nicole was like, "Open the door, here you go."
I was so surprised, though, even though I'm used to it, but I wasn't used to it in that type of setting. Like, that was surprising for me. Usually I'm prepared, and I wasn't prepared. I'm just like, wait, did I do my hair right? Like, hold on.
So, Nicole, while you're talking, who nominated you? And then give us a little backstory of, if you remember, why.
Gianna Allentuck, she is an amazing person. She's like my mentor. She calls me friend, but I'm just like, no, we're more than that. Like, I just love her. I don't care what time I call her, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. If I need to vent, she's there for me. So background, she nominated me. I didn't get to see the write-up, so I really don't know
Okay.
what was said, but I do a lot of community work, and she's very familiar with all of the hard work that I do here in the city of Springfield and beyond. So she's very impressed, and especially with me being a mother of 5, working in school, finishing my doctorate degree. She just wrote about everything I did, and it got me through that door.
Very good. Very good. Cheryl, how about for you?
So my husband is the one who nominated me. And once
That's a good husband right there.
And once I found out and they told me that I was nominated, I was actually at breakfast with my family when that happened, and I stepped outside and came back in crying. And then I was like, what have you done? You thrust me into the lights and the cameras. But no, he said that he sees everything that I do and doesn't feel like I always get the recognition for it. So that was his motivation, which I really appreciate. Just knowing how valuable the work that I do is,
Right.
and the recognition just kind of really, I think, validated that in a way that I wasn't seeking, but really appreciate.
And Nicole, I have to imagine the same way. You and I don't know about you both. The stuff you do in the background, whether it's volunteering for nonprofit or whatever you don't do it for the recognition. You
Right.
do it to benefit your community.
Yes,
it's
the need.
So you have to have felt the same way. It's like, it's kind of nice, kind of finally being recognized for some of the hard work.
Yes, not just locally, you're being recognized nationally for the work.
We'll get to that.
So I don't do it for any recognition. I do it because it's a need, and it's just like, hey, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? So just start, and maybe somebody will follow.
We will come back after this. We're up on our first break. We're back with more about our most recent remarkable winners. Stay with us.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of In Focus. Today, we're talking about remarkable women. As you look at your camera, Cheryl Przecki is on your right. Nicole Coakley is on your left. They are the 2024, Cheryl is 2024, Nicole is 2025 Remarkable Women winners. Thank you both for joining me. We're here to talk about your experiences. And each one was a little bit different, as we discussed before. Cheryl, I want to start with you, because your experience was different in the sense that we contacted you to let you know you were a finalist.
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through the process of what happened once you were contacted.
So once I was contacted, I was told that we would set up an interview. They asked if they could come to my business so that they could get a feel for the work that I do and learn a little bit more about the company, about the work that I'm doing in the community. And then we did the mass appeal interviews before the winner was announced. So we were able to talk about the work that we were doing and let people know about our various organizations and companies and the work that's actually being done in the community, which I really appreciated.
We're cycling through some of that video now that we did a couple of years ago that just shows some of the work that you did, you in your office and so forth. And Nicole, when it was with you, it was the surprise announcement. So I'll pull up a little bit of video here of things that you have done in your past. And I think this, as we're talking, I think the surprise actually pops up. But it was a logistic thing with you. It was trying to get you in the one spot at the exact time so that my former co-host Kayla could, hey, you won!
I pulled up the text message from Gianna, and she sent it to me, and it said, I need a huge favor. A while back, I applied for a great school counseling leadership workshop in DC in February, and I need you to come in and do a quick interview for me. The only dates available is Tuesday, January 21st at 2, and you'll be done in 30 minutes.
Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. But so you won, which is, obviously you guys head and shoulders above the other nominees in your 2 years. And there are hundreds of nominees each year. I don't know how the judges, because, unfortunately for you, Nicole, I never got to see the other people,
oh, really?
But with you, Cheryl, Kayla and I and, Alana and I before that, we would interview the nominees. So you got to learn about them. And off air, I would say to, our executive producer, Allie, and Kayla and Alana, would be like, how do you pick the winner? Because you all do great work in our communities, and that's the hard part is selecting. But then what happened? Okay, you got your flowers. What, Cheryl? What happened after that? After you got your flowers, what next?
Very shortly after, we were whisked away. I was whisked away to Hollywood, California, and for the national event. So they flew us out. We stayed at the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel. There was a huge cocktail hour presentation where we had hors d'oeuvres and meal by the pool with the Hollywood lights that they set up.
Right.
And we had a video message from some of our famous celebrities, like a lot of the 90210 cast and other celebrities, and they projected it onto the side of the building, and we got all the congratulatory messages from people that we've looked up to and admired, it just felt really special. Okay. And then the next day we had the official ceremony and the dinner, and where the national winner was announced. So it was big. We got to go to the Warner Brothers studios and tour. There we got to be the guest audience on the Jennifer Hudson show. We got to meet her. It was star-studded, and it was a couple days, but we packed so much into that, and it was just a true celebration like nothing I've ever experienced.
Cool. Nicole, was it the same for you, or had it changed as well?
I think it was similar. It was really like celebrity status. I'm just like, hey, yes, we are here. I took my mom with me because I wanted her to have the same experience, although she couldn't enjoy like the festivities, but I made sure she enjoyed herself while we were there. But from the time we found out and it was time to hop on that plane, it was just amazing. And it was different, and I just loved it. I wish all the remarkable women had like matching T-shirts, so we would know, because I was on the airline with several remarkable women and didn't realize that until we got to the baggage claim. And I'm just like, where are we supposed to go? So they were like holding up these remarkable woman signs to tell us which car we're going to get into. And I'm just like, wait, we was just on a flight. We were talking. I didn't even know we came for the same thing. So it was like amazing. And yeah, so we got to go on the Jennifer Hudson show. We did several tours. We got to see things we wouldn't actually have that opportunity to see if we weren't a part of the Remarkable Women Initiative.
So during your experiences in Hollywood, what was the ceremony like? Because I'm trying to think of how many of our sister stations there are around the country. There's a lot, 100 or something, more than 100 maybe. So there were a lot of women in this room who have done great things. So what was that ceremony like? Did were there video montages of some of the people? What happened in that room?
Yeah, I know for me, they showed different videos. We got to do videos to our former self, our future self. We got to do that, had that opportunity about what we would do differently. From then, we got to do that. We sat at tables with different people, so they made sure we kind of network with the different women there. It was 125 of us for the 2025, and it was a really great experience. And I'm sitting at the table like, what? I don't know if I'm better than you. So I met this other young lady, Noah, and she's just like, what do you do? She's like, wait, you deserve to be here. And I'm like, no, we both deserve to be here. So we're friends now.
It's that imposter syndrome, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, okay, what makes me better than them? And you're trying to figure out like, how do I fit to the table with them? Like they've done so much, but not realizing like the same work you've done.
They're thinking the same thing about you.
Yes. So it was amazing.
Yeah. There was like Nicole said, there was so many different ceremonies and different events, but we didn't necessarily do the montage. I really like that idea. I hope they keep that around. That would have been amazing. But we had a lot of like recapping the different various work that different women were doing in the community, different highlights, and just really celebratory. I think it was a lot about connection with each other as well. Like we left saying that we have, 110 sisters across the country, and we have the Facebook group where we all get to connect. In our graduation year, we call it, and yeah, it was amazing. So everything felt like a celebration, even the main event. It was all amazing.
So would you, looking ahead, would you talk to or look at your network of people, other women, and is there anyone that you see in your network that you would nominate?
Absolutely. Yes.
And I asked that question because I'm not surprised at that answer, because there are an amazing amount of women in the Western Mass area who are doing great things behind the scenes, like you both. Nobody really notices them, but there are a ton of women doing great things.
There are. And I mean, just being able to meet those that were nominated for 2025 and learn about everything that they're doing is like, oh my God, you guys are amazing. When I tell you Ida from the Ada food truck,
Yeah.
when we met for the first time, she was just like, she calls me Nicole Lee. She's like, I couldn't wait to meet you because I wanted to know who won over me because I was going to kick you in your ankle. I said, what? I'm looking at her like this little tiny tot lady, like, kick who? But now we're best friends. I love her. We all have really built a bond around this remarkable woman and being in 2025 and really showing how you collaborate and create your own women movement.
Fantastic. We are up on our second commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this edition of InFocus. I'm your host, Patrick Berry. We are in the 22 News Plus studios. Sitting across from me today are the two most recent Remarkable Women winners. Cheryl Przecki and Nicole Coakley are across from me. Thank you both for being with me. I greatly appreciate your time. You are both moms.
Yes.
What was your children's reaction to your winning?
They were excited.
Okay.
Oh, my kids are like, oh, my friend saw you on TV. They were so excited. My 7-year-old's just like, Mommy, you're famous. I'm just Mommy, I'm just paving the way, honey.
Right.
Leaving a legacy. That's all I'm doing.
Did you use it as sort of a learning tool for your kids?
It was definitely a learning tool because I wanted to teach them about volunteerism and how to really just put their best foot forward when it comes to being activists in their community and doing things that need to be done.
And Cheryl, how about for you?
Yeah, my kids are older, so maybe less like the "oh my gosh, you're famous." That would have felt really nice. But no, I think I much like Nicole, I've always lived my life as an example to them, and I think that the acknowledgement. I mean, they were obviously very happy for me when I found out I was nominated. One of my daughters was at breakfast with us, and I went back in, and she was, really celebratory. They both were, and I think just it was kind of, I think, validation of just like this is when you put your heart into what you do and you follow your dreams. You can really do anything that you put your mind to, and this was just kind of like that external validation of that.
And I think the unique thing too is who your nominators were.
Mm-hmm.
And it was your friend, it was your husband. And I think for all of us who volunteer and do work in our communities, it's always the other people who recognize it. And, because I don't know about you, I don't really recognize I help out, I do things, but it's not.
But it's major.
Yeah.
We don't think of it as big, and it's just like it's simple. We're just doing it because it needs to be done.
Right.
But it's big to somebody else. And you never know how what you're doing is inspiring somebody else.
The one thing I tell my kids in their mid and upper 20s is I said, nothing happens without volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
You think about all the fun stuff you do, no matter where you live, or even the support work, for Thanksgiving, donating meals or whatever. None of that happens without volunteers. So you got to find some way to give back. And I have to imagine, based on the way you just explained it, both of you instill that on your children.
Absolutely. I bring them along with me. We just did a turkey drive with Martin. I make sure they get to experience everything that mommy's doing because I don't want them to ever say, well, I didn't know. No, this is what mommy's doing. And if mommy can do it, you can do it too. I'm literally just paving the way.
And I think that's what it is. It's showing that if you're in a position to help other people, whether that's through your life's work, whether that's through volunteering, it's that whole thing. When you have more than you need, you build a longer table, right? And that's just kind of like what we've always embodied with our children. And I think it's one thing to say it, and it's one thing, like Nicole's saying, for them to watch their parents doing it.
We lead by example as parents, right? No matter what it is,
right? Because even without this recognition, our kids would have still seen us doing it, and that's really what matters,
right?
Yeah.
Nicole, I keep doing that.
That's okay.
Cheryl. Since you won nearly 2 years ago, what has happened in those 2 years? Anything of significance or?
Yeah, we've grown our clinical team. We've added multiple clinicians to our team. So we're able to help more people in our community and beyond. We've expanded our licensure. So we're now licensed in Connecticut and Florida as well. So we can provide remote therapy services to people in those states. And I also obtained my certification as an NATC, which is a narcissistic abuse treatment clinician,
Wow.
which I support adult survivors of childhood abuse and neglect. So as a leader and as that being a large part of our practice focus, being able to support clients and also the team and supervising and directing, that was a big accomplishment for me as well. So,
And Cheryl, in the just about a year, right? Just under a year since
I
you
don't
won.
even think April, March this
Yeah, I
year.
don't even remember.
Yes. So I'm continuing to finish my doctorate degree in business administration with a
With 5
concentration.
kids, with working full time.
with a dog.
Exactly.
But I'm doing this. So yeah, finishing my doctorate degree, kind of expanding my consulting business to do a little bit more, and I'm in the process of launching Girls Lead, a leadership and empowerment mentorship program for ages 15 to 21.
Fantastic. Cheryl, you do 2 different things, right? One is the Women's Center for Healing, and the other one's the Empowerment Project.
So what we've done since the Remarkable Woman event is we've actually consolidated our efforts. So what we did is we're the nonprofit being a separate entity was draining some of our resources. So what we've done is we've created a philanthropic arm to the Women's Center called the Women's Center Gives Back,
Okay.
where we're able to do the same type of work, but really have more resources and consolidate to be able to do more events. So we launched this past September.
So it's been since you became the award winner.
Yeah, because I learned how to better allocate our resources and how to make sure that we're able to help more people by making sure we're not doing too many things and doing the things that we're doing in a lot more efficient way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nicole, for you, you're starting a new endeavor as well.
Yes, I'm always trying to figure out what's next. So ain't nothing holding me back.
No, absolutely. I love it.
Being in politics, but that's a different story. But hey, I just keep on moving because you just never know how what you're doing is really helping to motivate somebody else. So you may not be the one that makes it, but it may help pave that way for somebody else.
So looking ahead, what else does the future hold for either of you?
I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish my doctorate degree, and then I'm going to work my way up in politics.
Very good, Cheryl.
I'm going to continue to grow our practice, keep growing our clinical team so that we can help as many people as that we're able to help. And that's really the goal right now.
It's interesting the answers you gave me because both of those are continuing to help the community.
Yes.
Ladies, I want to thank you both so very much for joining me. It was wonderful catching up with each of you. Congratulations again.
Thanks
Good seeing you. Happy holidays.
Thank
You as well.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.